it's time to install some backdrops. When I say some, all of them. At least on the main deck or the second deck. Thus I've fitted this first one here. It's about 93 inches long, and I marked the places where I need to cut these notches so that the mounting brackets for the upper deck can be slotted in. But I'm not going to put the brackets in yet because obviously I need to work on the main deck and paint or whatever or something. And now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the corners and how I'm going to butt the two backdrops together. So I had some leftover corner trims. Well, this one does look clean. This one looks clean. The idea is to put it behind here and I guess glue one first, and then when the other side comes in, then I can also put some glue or caulk or something, just that's gonna tack it in place, and that's gonna do the corners. I'm not gonna cove the corners because that's just too much work, and I have stuff in the corners, and coving the corner would probably be taking away probably 2 feet, 2 square feet of space, and there's an industry here. Over there I can't do it because, sorry about that, there is an electric cabinet. There is a scene in this corner. There is an industry over there, and you can see the track. Then there is an industry, I think that's a dairy or a brewery. So yeah. Anyway, this is where we're at right now. Oh yeah, and then to butt two backdrops together, I have these old pieces of hardboard, and they're like 1/4 inch thick. So I was gonna cut them to maybe 16 or whatever is the height of the backdrop. And again, just glue one end to one piece, and then when the next piece comes, then I match them together, and then I glue them or caulk them or something and press them together, and hopefully that's gonna hold. The problem with all of that is it's kind of permanent. So here is the mad idea I had. Since I have the uprights and they're metal, get magnetic tape with adhesive, and then use that to hold the backdrop. Obviously most people use the 1x2s and then they put them on the walls, but I don't have that, and then it would just, if I had 1x2s, I don't even know where would I put them because the brackets are on the joists. I guess somewhere in between the brackets, but then or the uprights, but then how would I connect the 1x2s? Where would I mount the 1x2s to? So the magnets, and I already cut the notches for this first piece. What I'm planning to do is put the piece in place, but not all the way, and then line it up where it needs to go, and then just press against the uprights, and hopefully then the magnets will adhere to the backdrop, to back of the backdrop, and stay there. And then I don't have to fiddle trying to align all the magnets the other way around and whatnot. The hardboard that they sell here in Canada has 2 smooth sides, so the other side is smooth, and so I figure the tape will adhere better to it and I don't have to do anything. So we'll see what happens. Well, this might have been a good idea in theory and on paper maybe, but not in practice. And the problem is that the backdrops have cupped like that. When I painted this outside in the sun, I guess the moisture caused them to cup, and I didn't paint the other side or seal it. So because it's cupped this way, the magnets are not, or the backdrop is not sitting flush against the uprights, and so it's pulling from the top because of the cupping, and the magnets are not strong enough to pull it towards the uprights. so you can see that it's not secure. Well, there you have it. A failure, I would say. In real time. I guess I'll have to figure something else out. And I can't find any stronger magnet or magnetic strip. I mean, this was like the strongest one they had. And it's still not enough. Well, more to come. I guess I'll have to devise another solution. Okay, second attempt. Half an hour later, handful of peanuts and another video I watched on YouTube and regrouping in my head for another solution. So, Velcro. I'm not gonna overcommit this time, so I'm gonna put them just on every second. I'm gonna put on every second upright and see how that works. The thing I don't like about Velcro is it's thicker than the magnets. And it's, you know, moving and stuff. But I'm seeing other people use Velcro for their backdrops, so I'm gonna pause, mount the backdrop back on, and then resume recording, and we'll see what happens. It seems to be working better than the magnets. And it's holding the backdrop. What I don't like is it got pushed further out because of the thickness of the Velcro. And I mean, I don't know, this is like another 1/4 inch. I don't have all the space in the world for everything. 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch there, all these things add up. And it's breaking the plan because things need to fit there. And also because I didn't put it on every upright, you know, you see like it's kind of flabby without the uprights, without the Velcro on every upright. The question is it going to be better if I add it on every upright, and is it going to be sturdy enough? Or should I just drop the whole idea and then look for something else? I don't know. As I said, I don't like it when it's this far. It's too big of a gap. I mean, I don't know. I know it's gonna bother me. It's silly, but I don't know. You can see here how big the gap is. I guess that's 1/8 of an inch. We should not quibble over 1/8 of an inch. Over there, I guess there's nothing there because that's a corner, and then this is supposed to go there. Maybe I'll just sleep on it, leave it like this and sleep on it, and see how I feel the next day before I commit to more Velcroing and whatnot. Here we are on plan C. The backdrop's now on the floor. Plan C, corner braces and steel wire. Some screws too. And the plan goes like this. Corner braces at the bottom of every upright. I'm gonna probably cut or notch the cork so that it lays lower, and then it can be covered with some scenery or whatever. And then at the top, because you know, I usually see that the slits for the brackets are visible, I was gonna make like a staple, like sort of a clip, and then just clip it on top and then paint over the visible surface, and I think you should just hold it tight. So I guess we can say this was option C stroke 2, since option C stroke 1 didn't really work out 100%. It worked down here with these corner braces. Up here I was gonna make these clips out of wire or nails or whatever, and then just clip it down. But it worked fine here, not here, because this slit here is 1 inch long and it doesn't hold it. So I combined that and mounting tape, and I might probably just go with the mounting tape everywhere, because there is no pull force this way that's gonna remove it in any way. So I think it's gonna be fine. And then the corner braces were okay. I dug into the cork, and then I can just cover it with scenic material and whatnot when the time comes. This is still not mounted. I need to cut the slits for the brackets, but that's what it's gonna look like. And I'm just gonna put a bit of caulk and then paint or something. I can't coat the corners as I mentioned because I have industries and stuff in the corners. So, and then I have to figure out how I'm gonna continue to the next panel. Probably just back it with a piece of hardboard and then glue them together or something, or caulk them together, or maybe use the mounting tape. Well, there is an idea. In any case, I guess we can call this progress on the layout. Why are we looking at the same backdrop again? Well, it's been a couple of days, and that so-called solution C-2 didn't really work, because the mounting tape gave up. Even though I've pressed hard against this and everything, I suppose because there is no force applied to it to pull it continuously, because that's what it's for, it was just loose. It just let go. And I guess the adhesive is not strong enough, or I don't know if I had to sand the back of the hardboard or not. I thought that having the smooth surface of hardboard would be better for the adhesive to bind to, but I guess not. So it's back to square one. I wish I could just do that. And I don't want to drill holes and put screws, because then I have to plaster it and sand it and everything else. Okay, let this be the last time we are shooting this backdrop mounting thing, exploration in futility / me trying to get things out of my ass into my head. Well, I use screws. I should have used screws right away. You know, wood, nails, metal, screws. Just 4x1.5 inch screws, 2 holes, and Bob's my uncle. And it's tight as a drum. Rather than messing with magnets and brackets and corner braces and half working sticky tapes and whatever else. So I'm gonna continue with this all the way around. Sorry about the motion. And then be done with that, and then move on with my life and continue building the layout, because backdrop's just the backdrop. Backdrop. It's not front drop. It's not that important. Okay, here is the next backdrop update. And I'm just gonna pan around. Still need to sand that. You don't want to know what I've done prior to this. It was a disaster, so I'm not going to even say it. So that's all attached to the wall or to the uprights. I end up using the number 4 screws, 1/2, number 4 times 1.5. And then over there, I left the opening for the electrical panel because I have to. And then here I just stopped, and I'm probably going to just add a piece of pink foam and then paint this area the same color, and then paint this as well, because this doesn't really matter what color it is, so I'll just paint it the backdrop color. Mess of stuff just keeps moving. This is not attached yet. This is attached, so that's in place. Then I have a gap I need to fill with another piece of backdrop, and then I have these 2 peninsula pieces on each side. So what we decided to do here was to add these portals. Rather than having a continuous open space, we'll put a fascia here to close it. I think that's called the bill in a block. Look it up. He's the guy who came up with it first, back when. It basically forces an operator to come around and not hover here at the tip of the peninsula. And then the other thing, because this area here and this area here are not next to each other, they're further apart, this sort of symbolizes, I mean, this portal some distance. It could be 10, 20 kilometers, whatever. I just don't have that much space to separate them. And then, as I said, I got that, and then I still need to do this one here, because I just finished gluing that corner bracket, brace, whatever. And then this whole section here is the upper deck. Well, I mean, backdrop, but the upper deck has a scenic area with rivers and bridges and things like that. And so I don't really know where the brackets are gonna go, like how high or how low to build that scenery, and that's kind of holding me back a bit now. That section, this whole section here is going to be an open grid frame. Open frame grid work, whatever it's called. And I guess I'm just gonna make risers and then cut a plywood, a cookie cut plywood or something. Or maybe I'll try spline, I don't know. I've never done spline road bed, so seeing Dennis from Otter Valley, not at Otter Valley, Otter Creek, not Otter Valley, Otter Creek, doing splines so easily, I'm sort of, and he documented it to detail, and I just have to do what he does basically. But we'll see if I have that much courage. Maybe I'll just take plywood and cut it and, you know, do it the short path, short way. Cut corners. Okay, it's not cutting corners, but whatever. You know what I mean. So, yeah, so that's basically where I stopped. And then after that's in place, then I guess painting the backdrops. I mean, painting the actual scenes in the backdrops. And then continuing with the track work, because I don't think it makes sense to do anything else before you finish the backdrops. On the other hand, I'm kind of wary that we'll have the backdrops painted and everything, and then they might get messed up, so I have to protect them somehow. Of course, still no trains running. It's just, you know, one of those things that I didn't aim for. Everybody aims to run trains as fast as, get trains running as fast as possible. I'm kind of just making this into phases and, I don't know, projects and stuff. It's not really a hobby, it's work. But that's just how it is for me. Okay, I want to make it official. I hate mounting backdrops or backdrop panels. It's one of my least favorite things to do. It's ranking right up there with watching a pot boil. But it's done. Kinda, I guess it looks okay. We'll see when the upper deck goes on and then hides all this stuff. But I'm not gonna ramble about it because you've heard me before. I would have preferred a single deck, a bit taller than this, but I want it a long run too, so double deck. I have some portals here that I need to finish probably, and paint those corners that have the caulk in them. And then here, as I mentioned, it's going to be that Bellina block or whatever thing on the fascia. And then need to close these gaps so that you don't see the inside. But I mean, that's not there yet because no fascia yet. But there it is. And I'm still on the fence what to do. photo backdrop or painted backdrop. Photo backdrop or painted backdrop. Maybe I should do a poll on the YouTube channel. But then I should decide on these things, not everybody else. No offense to anyone new. It's just my layout. And I think I should figure out for myself what I need to do. I've seen a lot of people use photo backdrops lately, so I guess that's the fad, but they're not cheap. And up here in Canada, printing long sheets of paper, photo paper, is not cheap, and I can only go to Staples, or I don't know, other printing places are even more expensive than Staples. I don't know if Walmart does anything. I can't order from Walgreens. I'd love to, because they got sales all the time. You can get a backdrop for $25 for 8 feet. Here, no, I don't know, $150 for 10 feet. Or I can go to the... This is all assuming I make my own. I could just go to Cine King. I mean, they're up here in Barrie, and order from them. Because ordering from any US vendor in today's world is just very difficult. I've just noticed that under these lights, although these lights are the upper deck lights, this deck, the middle deck, is gonna have its own LEDs underneath here, but I don't have anything yet. I've just noticed that this is the freshly painted area, because this is where I patched. You can see this is where the backdrops, the panels connect. So I put some putty and stuff, drywall compound, same thing here. But I can notice kind of shading, slightly different shade. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. I don't think it matters. I know why. I think you can see it here as well. All of these backdrops have been airbrushed or painted with the paint gun. And these patches, I used a foam roller. So obviously the finish is different. I can't help it. They're already mounted. So it is what it is. No one's gonna notice if I put a backdrop, like once it's painted or it's photo, attached, then it's gonna be fine, I guess. So there, I've turned even the lights for you so you can see it, in full, glow and everything. Well, there is no glow, it's matte. I guess I'm gonna wrap this here, and thanks for watching.